Formula One comes to Sao Paulo, Brazil for the last sprint race of 2023. Welcome to Interlagos. So after this, we take a 2-week break before the final 2 races for the first ever time on the Las Vegas Strip before the United Arab Emirates, and confirmation that the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix will go ahead and never in doubt. Max Verstappen leads on 491 points. Sergio Perez and Lewis Hamilton's battle for second place is what all eyes are on, just 20 points between them. Carlos Sainz is level with Fernando Alonso, being caught by Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc. George Russell tailing back in 8th. Oscar Piastri, Pierre Gasly and Lance Stroll round out the first page. Esteban Ocon is in 12th on 45 points. Alexander Albon, 27 in the Williams, a remarkable achievement. Bottas only on 10, a point clear of Hulkenberg, who's a point clear of Tsunoda. Danny Ricciardo getting his first points back in Formula 1 last time out in Mexico. Then it's same as Zhou Guan Yu. Magnussen on 3 points, Liam Lawson on 2, Sargent with 1, and still no points for Nick de Vries. And there won't be as he's back in Formula E. In the Constructors' Championship, Red Bull on 731 points. Mercedes now clear Ferrari in second, 371 to Ferrari's 349. McLaren are in a battle with Aston Martin, 20 points between them as Aston drop back to 5th. Alpine secure 6th. Williams clear of AlphaTauri for 7th. They're though in a battle with Alfa Romeo, level on 16 points. Haas joining the party, they're on 12. Let's take a look at the Autodromo Juan Carlos Palace as well. 2.667 miles, 71 laps ahead of us as well. 15 corners in the dry and challenging. In the wet, it's unbelievable. This is a fantastic race. It's important to get a good run out the last corner then as you run uphill towards turn number 1 and 2, the Senna S. Hard on the brakes then, flick to the left, downhill, back on the accelerator as you come round the Curva do Sol, a long sweeping left-hander, down the back straight then towards Docina de Lago as well. You've got open up your DRS, slam on the brakes about 50 metres to go, flick the car into turn 4, use the exit curb a lot, and then flat out up the hill as well towards Ferradura, 6th gear corner for turn number 6. Flick the car in towards the right, uphill section of the track, double apex as well before you come into the Super boxes. Flew in now, keep it calm, round the oranges turn as well at turn 9 as well. Turn 10 as well, a little bit tricky to get right on the brakes as well as you have to slam down all the way 2nd gear. Into Magula then as well as you drop downhill dramatically towards Junção as well. Up through 7th gear, drop down to 4th gear, flick the car in again to the left and then back up now towards the last corner. You're flat out rising 6th gear, 7th gear, 8th gear as well. Flat out with the DRS open as you come across the line. In the old days you used to cut across the pit lane entrance, now not needed to, and that is a lap of Interlagos. Hello everybody and welcome to the sprint race, the final sprint of 2023. We're here at Interlagos, Sao Paulo, Brazil for what is going to be an absolutely cracker race. We've had 3 sprint races here since the format was inaugurated back in 2021. And 2021 saw Lewis Hamilton storming from the back of the field, finishing in 5th position. And then in the main race, it sees him starting 10th to win the race. Across 90 laps, he did a back-to-front job. Last year, it was a cracking nail-biter between Max Verstappen and George Russell. Russell getting ahead from 5th on the grid and taking his first ever win in Formula One. He followed that up with a victory the following day in the Grand Prix. Now here for 2023, we have a very interesting format. Lando Norris starting on pole position as well. McLaren estimated when they came in here this weekend, they were going to be the 4th fastest team. Practice showed that they were off the pace as well. Both of them down the order, 19th and 20th for Norris and Piastri. Qualifying in the wet weather, 7th and 10th on the grid. But the sprint shootout sees, yes, Piastri starting in 10th, but Lando Norris on pole position. And he topped the Q2 time yesterday as well. So there's a big factor coming in to what we could see. The image behind me as well is the Paddock Club, just looking over the start-finish straight as well. And the pit lane will open in 5 minutes' time. We've got 35 minutes until the sprint race. Alongside me in the commentary box will be Jess. Ed Hunter is back with us as well, and Omi will be in the pit lane as Josh T's gone to a motorsport event as well. Who could blame him? But it is very rainy out in the UK at the moment with storms, so it's going to look absolutely fantastic. Let's take a quick look though at the starting grid for this race. As we said, it is Lando Norris on pole position. Max Verstappen lines up alongside him, second on the grid. Then it's row 2 for Sergio Perez and George Russell. Row 3 sees Lewis Hamilton and Yuki Tsunoda. Row 4 sees Charles Leclerc and Danny Ricciardo. Row 5 sees Carlos Sainz alongside on the front row with Oscar Piastri. Row 6 is Magnussen and Hülkenberg. Row 7, Gasly and Bottas. Row 8, Alonso and Ocon. Row 9, Stroll and Zhou. And row 10, Albon alongside Logan Sargent as well. Well, track temperature looks decent at the moment as well. The air temperature has increased a lot. It's at 53 degrees track temperature. Air temperature at 27 degrees as well. So there's a lot more chance of a smooth race. No sign of those rain clouds that we saw affect the final part of qualifying yesterday. And that's great news. But for Max Verstappen, it's proving to be a very difficult weekend. He's off the pace a lot as well. Only topped one session, and that one session was qualifying 3 yesterday when everybody else was not getting a full lap time in. So there's a very strong chance that Max might not have the opportunity to chase Lando. It's an uphill start towards turn number 1 as well, so watch out for constantly changing temperatures. Lando will be on the outside line to turn 1 coming around the outside, whereas Max will be on the inside line taking a tighter run in towards the center S. Taking a quick look at the track if you want on the lap counter here with the battle screen. As you can see, it's a 24-lap sprint race. This first corner, just coming up at the start line, see where the speed trap is. Look down towards turn 1 and 2, the center S as well. It's a second gear corner, turn 1, 100 kilometers an hour, and then into turn 2, that's third gear, 145. When you're getting into the start procedure, that first corner, you have to drop down to first gear at around about 85 kilometers an hour. So you really are so far off the bat coming into it as well. One man who said, I was very surprised to actually have pole position was Lando Norris. As you can see him coming in here on the chat. Norris pleased with an unexpected sprint shootout pole. He wasn't that confident coming into the race as well. He says, and I quote, that he dropped time. Well, if he thinks he's dropping time, he certainly is going to be in for an interesting surprise whether or not he has a run up towards turn 1. Tyres are also a question here. 24 laps around Interlagos. You can mathematically do it on a set of soft compound tyres, but do you want to run the risk of losing out later on in the race? For that argument, everyone saved a set of soft just in case for the race tomorrow, but they've saved 2 sets of medium compound tyres. Now, those 2 sets of mediums are going to come vital because it now gives you the option to start long, or if there's a safety car, change up a bit. We might see safety cars here. We did last year, 12 months ago, in both the race and the sprint race. So anybody's guess as to what could happen. Let's just take a quick look. Hello to Joe Samiego. Hello, a new race weekend with Josh. Absolutely, Darren. Hello, I'll see you guys exactly 6:30. So Omi's going to be here at the start as well. Ed Hunter's going to be here. Jess is just working behind the scenes as well to get USRN all ready and set up. Right, a few things to tell you about as I put my iPad on charge and pick up my phone. A few things to tell you about. That's mainly about these Esteban Ocon, who you saw have a crash with Fernando Alonso in the sprint shootout. They've changed the front wing, left side front suspension, complete gearbox and rear suspension change, rear wing, floor and left-hand side bodywork change. They've done all that in a couple of hours, and Esteban Ocon's car should be ready to get going, although we think he is going to start from the pit lane with all those changes under Parc Fermé. So there's a couple of things there. No investigation was deemed necessary as well for Lando Norris as well, by the way. For the we've got a decision just coming 3 minutes ago, fresh off the pace here from Lando Norris, who's starting on pole position. He was under investigation for infringement to follow the race director's instructions, which is the safety car 1 and 2 times as well. But he's been given a reprimand. So Lando Norris has been given a reprimand by the stewards. The infringement, breach of Article 33.4, which is impeding in the pit lane. The stewards thoroughly reviewed marshalling positioning data and timing onboard cameras. Norris completed a cool-down lap and maintained their delta for most of the lap while following Tsunoda with a reasonable gap. But it was that the stewards accept that Norris made a reasonable effort not to interfere with the car, but he did. But anyway, that's enough for me talking because the pit lane is about to go open. So we're all set to go. Jess, I hope you're ready because we're going down to Ted.
Saturday afternoon local time here in Sao Paulo, and Lando Norris looks like he's just struggling to find a gear. He is our pole man, starting P1 for the sprint race, but today is always going to be about overtaking because it's the last sprint race of 2023. 24 laps, let's make it a cracker. Right, who has to do some overtaking today? Carlos Sainz starting P9. There's more pace in that Ferrari than P9 on the grid. His teammate Charles Leclerc, P7. He's also got to do some overtaking. Oscar Piastri in the McLaren starting P10. Oh, there's a bit of a tear-off. Actually stuck itself to the camera of Pierre Gasly's Alpine. That's not a problem. He'll get into the grid. His engineers will see that, his mechanics will see that, and they'll take it off. But David Croft, as we here are on the inside of the Senna S, such a great place for that overtaking, and it says, City of Sao Paulo, always ahead. But will Lando Norris be always ahead in the next 24 laps?
Well, he starts from the perfect place, but the man who's alongside him on the grid, separated by just 61 milliseconds in qualifying. 4th time in a row the sprint race has, sprint qualifying has been decided by less than a 10th when it comes to the pole. Max Verstappen, last time he started second here, he beat the pole setter, Valtteri Bottas, that day into turn 1. Sergio Perez in the other Red Bull is right there too, starting 3rd in a sprint here at Interlagos for the 2nd time. He's never started that high up in the Grand Prix. And then you've got the likes of George Russell and then Lewis Hamilton coming out onto the track, so they're going to be putting pressure on Lando Norris, but we know that Lando can keep his cool under pressure, and he certainly did that in qualifying today. Should have been on pole yesterday, he believed. He set the fastest time in the 2nd part of qualifying for the Grand Prix. Then the rain came, rather dented his chances of getting pole for the Grand Prix. No rain today, and he got through, as I say, by 61 milliseconds. The qualifying was so close, SQ1, that only 0.858 of a second separated the first to 20 in SQ1. That's the closest qualifying we've ever had for any event in Formula One. Lewis Hamilton makes his practice start from the end of the pit lane, and we're expecting Esteban Ocon to get out onto the track after his crash with Fernando Alonso. Changes to his car, front wing, left side front suspension, complete gearbox and suspension, rear wing floor and left hand side bodywork. The power unit, the chassis tub were all okay, and he starts the race on the 8th row alongside Fernando Alonso, the man he collided with in qualifying. Watch out for the start, could be electric today. Simon.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, Crofty, we've just seen that there. Alonso and Ocon, that could be a lively start. Actually, when we're looking to the grid for tomorrow, when we see Aston Martin in 3rd and 4th, only 20 points McLaren are ahead of Aston Martin. Both of their drivers inside the top 10 today, and both of Aston's outside of it. All these things count. A good chance to, you know, increase that gap, because points mean prizes, or at least prize funds.
Yeah, and this is a circuit, of course, where we can see overtaking. It's one of the best, frankly, on the calendar. So I think Aston starting 3rd and 4th was a real compliment to their strategy, actually, going to queue at the end of the pit lane yesterday. If they can hold on to it with their race pace, that'll be very impressive tomorrow.
I also think there's one thing that's quite interesting is the battle between Hamilton and Perez, who there's only 20 points behind them. Perez has obviously delivered today. Yesterday he was further down in the order. It's going to be important for him to keep ahead of Lewis as well. For 20 points is all that splits them in the Drivers' Championship at the moment.
I often wonder about this. I mean, all racing drivers ever talk about is that they want to win. Fine. But when we're getting into the business end of the season, all of these things are crucial, particularly in the constructors. Every point, as we mentioned, and every position is extremely valuable.
In the constructors, 100%. I'm not sure Lewis will even remember how many times he's finished 2nd in the World Championship, to be honest. You know, for him, he's here to win, and that's why he exists. But, you know, for the constructors, every position is worth somewhere around $10 or $11 million. So, which is why AlphaTauri's result with Daniel Ricciardo last week in Mexico was massive, because it moved them up 2 places at potentially $20 million. So, but, you know, that battle is interesting, because you've got Williams, Alfa Romeo, Haas, and AlphaTauri all in the mix there.
But I presume the teams will remind the drivers, you know, because this is important. It's important to all of those within the team, because, as you said, it's livelihoods at stake.
Absolutely, and I think, if anything, the teams more often prioritise the Constructors' Championship over the Drivers' Championship because of that reason, and the drivers are always reminded when they have their moments. Drivers can be selfish, you know, it's part of being a racing driver. When you want to win, sometimes you have to put yourself first, but the teams will always be very quick to remind them that you're not just here for yourself, you're here for the team and the rest of what matters for us.
Okay, Lando Norris pulling up into his pole spot here for the sprint. I remember this time we got a very nice photo, didn't we, Green, this time last year, and it was Kevin Magnussen on pole position for the sprint. Not this year. The Hasses have just been slightly off the pace, starting from 11th and 12th.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what Ferrari do, because they saved a set of soft tyres. They ran both drivers this morning on used tyres. Leclerc has a new set, which, okay, does he use it today in the sprint to try and go forward, or does he keep it for the start of the Grand Prix tomorrow?
Well, that was the question, the big question that we were posing, and we will find out very, very shortly. But yeah, as I was saying, last week in Mexico, it was a mixed weekend. It was 1st and 2nd on a Saturday for Ferrari, 3rd and 4th in the race, but we were lucky enough to spend some time behind the scenes with them.
Qui è una cosa proprio...
Thank you. Thank you. J'ai banane.
Used to come quite early, and it's the best moment also to be focused on myself. I have my coffees and the tarte tatin.
Every morning I make tarte tatin for Fred. He loves it. Ready?
I'm drinking far too much. I don't feel that it's something special because I did it the last 30 years of my life.
The team principal has to, you know, has such a huge job, you know, high pressure, high stakes. He's really approachable, actually, and if you've got an issue, everyone just goes to him.
For sure, you have a different approach with the pressure and the results and the competition, but it's, I think it's a good motivation.
I heard you say 30 years to Formula 1, but you're mature less than 5. Why?
Thanks for the comparison.
Breaking news from Ferrari. Carlos Sainz won't be at the track today because he's feeling unwell.
Yeah, so Carlos is not feeling too good today. It's nothing too serious, but just as a precaution, I think we're going to stay in the hotel and make sure that he's back to full fitness tomorrow.
Good morning.
Okay, so welcome everybody. Because Caio are embedded in our team this weekend, and we will we will make the drivers up and Fred up and sometimes Diego up. at some points, but they may just come up and ask you random questions. Be nice, reply, and smile, and do your best. But so we move on, but I think this was it.
So I'm working with Ferrari since 2005, and I have this role since 2016. So a life, let's say. My life is Ferrari. Every day when I walk in and there is the Ferrari brand there, I smile.
This is top secret because this is making a cup of tea. Making a cup of tea is a secret.
Timon. What we can do with you.
Fred has a calmness about him, and actually that's important at Ferrari. Ferrari wears its heart on its sleeve. There's a lot of passion, and that needs controlling sometimes. And Fred's a great balance for that. All the drivers, when they were kids, they wanted to drive a red Ferrari. It's no different for us engineers. Once you're in here, you realise how everybody in the team feels the same, feels about that ownership, I suppose, of the brand and of the prancing horse. We do that with pride, for sure. Charles is an absolute gentleman, to be honest. Very demanding, but all the good ones are. He's a very intelligent guy. He's learnt to apply himself in ways that didn't come naturally to him. He's a natural talent. He gets in a car, he just feels it. It just happens.
My signature is the L and then the C, and then I write Charles. I never counted them, and I think that is better that way. I will say something like this, maybe 60,000. Maybe it's too much. Bravissima, bravissima Marti.
Ciao, buongiorno. Buongiorno.
Yeah, crazy to stay so close to you.
Yeah, I don't know why would they choose to do that. All good? Yes. At least I think I have.
I think Carlos is feeling fine. I think he recovered well. We didn't come to the track, but I think that he rested well. He had his medicines, he's settled and good to go.
Good to go.
I lost the car. Hydraulics. I will try and make it back. I have no power steering. Sorry, check over. I have an issue with the car.
Box, Carlos, box.
Big hydraulic issue for Carlos Sainz. Boy, it's not good for Ferrari.
And we find in the whole city, we check to find all the Italian products, like a pasta, mozzarella cheese, is Parma ham, is important for the team, eat very well, and my work is this.
This is a special food, like Italian food pasta with shrimps, and it's gonna be for our guests we have a schedule for the timing for the lunch for guests and then for the team as well.
We're a really close team, I think people see two cars and they see two drivers. They don't see the thousands of people that are behind that. It's logistics, it's catering, it's marketing, it's comms.
It's a working environment, but it becomes a family. We spend so much time together, we're always together. We eat together, we sleep in the same hotel, so we see each other from breakfast, lunch, dinner. We go out together when we go out in the evening. It's really like having many different brothers and sisters, I would say.
Thank you. Charles, can we take a picture, man? Say hello to me after. And track will be clear. That was quite a good lap. So at the moment P3.
It felt like it was a very strong tyre. I was really happy with it. That's it. But it felt like a good tyre.
Get my heart rate up, a bit of activation before jumping in the car.
When push comes to shove, I don't think anyone's faster than him over one lap.
You choose the right track to follow us, huh?
Yeah, fantastic access, and a big thanks to Ferrari for letting us go behind the scenes. Part 2 of that tomorrow, and as you touched upon there, didn't you, Karun, Carlos and Charles, keeping something up their sleeve?
Yeah, I think they're in the mix, aren't they, as we've seen for the last few races alongside McLaren and Mercedes. And yeah, they're thereabouts. I think Charles, I'm interested in Charles' strategy for tomorrow. If he starts on the soft tyres, you know, he's starting on the front row of the grid, start on the soft tyre, can get a good launch with those tyres, maybe get track position even ahead of Max, and then who knows how that race will unfold.
Okay, let's just, if you're just joining us or just tuning for the first time today, there was a crash in SQ1 earlier, delayed proceedings for about 20 minutes between Fernando Alonso and Esteban Ocon. We've heard Martin Brundle and Naomi's opinion. What was yours, Karun?
I think Fernando was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Esteban clearly had a snap of oversteer there. I think Fernando gave him plenty of room. If Esteban didn't have that snap of oversteer, he would have gone through easily. I mean, where Fernando is now, there's so much space for a car to go past on the left. I think the stewards did the right thing not to penalise either driver.
There we go. Esteban Ocon was fiercely defensive of what happened there. I wonder if his car's going to be okay, though, for the sprint itself. He's with Rachel.
Esteban, can I grab a quick word? Very quick word. Yeah. How are you feeling? I know that accident, the car's okay, you're okay?
Yeah, the team have done, you know, a tremendous job by putting, you know, the car back together, you know, in a short amount of time. So, you know, we're on the grid. Everything is good on that side, and we look forward to a good race.
And you're okay with the steward's decision on it all? All right, thanks, Esteban.
Good stuff. Thank you very much, Rachel. Now, Naomi, you join me on the grid on this bright and breezy and beautiful South American afternoon. It's lovely down here, isn't it?
It absolutely is. I've had to lose my jacket because it is that hot. I mean, track temperatures of up to 50 degrees. It's beautiful, though. We love it here.
And this is the grid where I think the crowd get closest. Look at this. I can't think of another grid where the crowd get closest to the drivers. Now, you can take it one way, which is the Logan Sargent way of taking it, which is just hiding down there. Or you can take it the other way, which is the Alex Albon way. He's been waving to them. He's been getting energy from them. What would you have liked to have done?
Well, I personally am the kind of driver who gets energy from a crowd. It feeds me energy. I would say I'm an Albon kind of guy, but every driver is very different, and it also depends on the day, right? If you're feeling pressure that day, if your head's not quite right and you want to stay super focused, then the Logan Sargent way might be the way to go.
There you go. They've seen Logan now. Now they're bigging it up for Logan. All right, let's go up the grid and see what else we can find. Of course, no Brazilian driver in Formula One, but this flag on the side, just by Lance Stroll, reminds me that Brazil has the reigning Formula 2 champion in Felipe Drugovich, and it also, there you go, Drugo na F1. They want Felipe Drugovich in F1. But Brazil also has the newly crowned F3 champion in Gabriel Bortoleto.
Absolutely, and Felipe Drugovich is a driver that for the team, although you say there's no Brazilian driver on the grid, he is at every single race. He plays an integral part of the team development on the sim, all of that. So he's definitely having a bit of an influence on the team at least.
Yeah, now, still on Fernando Alonso's car, that's been rebuilt. But take a look at this. While they were fixing his car, we had this unusual bit of, well, I can only call it halo surfing. So I really want to understand what exactly was going on. So I believe it's the team's electronics engineer. I think he's just over here. They call him Towie. You can understand why he's probably called Towie. And Towie, did you find what you were looking for?
Say that again.
Did you find what you were looking for in the cockpit?
Yes, I did.
What was it?
Lost my watch, actually.
You must have great stomach muscles to be able to balance on the halo and then get all the way down. You're as limber as anything.
It just makes things easier. You can use both hands. With the halo on, you can't reach anything. So I discovered this method a few races ago and I thought, I'm sticking with that.
I love it. What a great method. Thank you, Towie.
I love it, and social media seems to love it as well. So I think Sky Sports F1 put up a post saying, wrong answers only, please. What was he up to? I haven't seen the answers yet.
Well, he was getting to the bits in the electronic parts in the car that he needed to get to. Now, look, let's talk Alpine, shall we, Naomi? You know, let's not forget, this is a big team. People might not realise this is Renault, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, one of the biggest, the second biggest probably, car manufacturers on this grid, and the power that is Renault, and also the home and the family of that big French team. There's a lot of pressure, and there's been a lot of changes for the team this season so far. They had incredibly high ambitions they set out with at the beginning of the seasons to move forwards. They haven't really been able to do that, but they've had some great moments. Today, unfortunately, isn't one of them.
Yeah, okay, they need to score some points. Nico Hülkenberg is sort of surprising him once again. Seems to be going into. He loves Brazil. You're loving this race as well?
Whoa.
I'm saying you love Brazil. You're looking forward to this race?
Yeah, I do. Do you?
I do. I've never known the crowd so close to any grid.
Yeah, there's not many places left in the world where fans get so close. It's pretty amazing.
Okay, new front wing this weekend. You think you can do something with it?
New front wing?
Well, it's quite a high angle to your front wing. It's Brazil specific.
It's just a current front wing and a not broken one, let's say.
You're not too far from the points. They're just over there. You're going to get there.
What can you help to help us to get in the points?
A high five. There you go. I hope that's going to work.
It's the lucky high five for Nico Hülkenberg. What about then, Naomi, for Oscar Piastri? If you were in his McLaren, how would you go about this? Because, you know, he's got Lando at the front, and then he's here. He's got the pace in the car.
Well, what's going to definitely make him happy is to know that he's got a car that's got the pace. So it is possible for him to go forwards. He's got the likes of two AlphaTauri cars in front of him, who may potentially have less race pace than he will. Ferraris as well, that's always been their Achilles heel. So he'll be motivated to know that he's got a car that could potentially do the job. And we've seen him do fantastic things. I mean, he's a
Yeah, okay, Daniel Ricciardo, Yuki Tsunoda with great positions there. But let's just final thought about Mercedes. We're going to, before we hear from George Russell, Lewis Hamilton has never led a lap of any sprint race, although Mercedes have won all the sprint races in Interlagos over the last few years we've been having them.
Which is a statistic that baffles me.
Me too.
But it doesn't mean that today won't be the day. I mean, they're not that far from it, and I think they have a car that this weekend is potentially set up and geared more towards race pace than it would be for one lap pace in qualifying. And we've seen that they've been a little bit off the pace. We've seen it so far in the qualifying earlier today and yesterday, but maybe we should see something slightly different today. And if we've seen someone do well in a sprint race before on this track, it is also Lewis Hamilton. So.
Yeah, okay, well, so there is Lewis Hamilton in the car. He's got the Cristo Redemptor on the back of his crash helmet, and yeah, we'll see if Mercedes can keep up that record of winning sprint races. But the previous winner of the Brazilian Grand Prix is George Russell. He's with Rachel.
Quick word. George, how are you feeling?
This Q jump there. Don't worry, you're my preference.
Oh, bless you, thanks. How are you feeling about this? I know it's not a long enough race to be able to make too much of an impact, but do you think you can?
No, I definitely think it is. It looks, for tomorrow, it looks like a two-stop, so if you do the maths of a sprint race distance, is about the right length just for when the tyres are falling off. So I'm hoping the last 10 laps things are going to get a bit more feisty and we can go forward.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Thanks, George.
Well, we talk about overtaking. We know how important it is. It was last year. It was #1 ranked on the calendar with 62, I think it was. Yeah, I mean, I suppose if you're in Lando's shoes, you've got Max. We know how quick they are in a straight line all the way from the bottom to turn 1 from Jungsao. That's going to be one of the keys today, isn't it?
It's going to be a challenge for Lando because he's got two Red Bulls with extremely efficient DRS rear wings right behind him. So it's going to be tricky for him to defend. He's got to really focus on getting out of Jungkao turn 12 very, very well and very early on throttle.
Okay, Lando's in the car, as you can see. A couple of moments ago, he spoke with Rachel.
A last quick call. If I can come round so I save my cameraman a little bit. A fantastic crowd, Lando. The last 4 sprints have all been won from sprint pole. That stat goes in your favour today.
No pressure.
No pressure, but how much would it mean to you to get that first win on the board for McLaren?
Oscar won now.
I know, but for you?
Oh, for me? I mean, it would be great. I mean, I always see a Grand Prix win a bit better than a sprint win, but it's the same objective. We want to win, we want to get the points. I'll do everything I can, you know, so I'm excited.
So wait, go back.
Well, could today be the day he started out, didn't he, since Qatar, his teammate getting a sprint win before he did. But Lando Norris has put himself in the best possible position on the front row of the grid, but alongside him and quietly going about his business has been Max Verstappen. He's the threat, but there's a few of them in there. The sprint is next. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, the sprint is next. Jess is now alongside me in the commentary box as well. Jess, the anticipation is building. How are you doing? Doing well?
Yes, I'm doing good. I was trying to get USRN and sorted at the last minute. Welcome to everyone that's listening for USRN, by the way. So, but yeah, I think Lando is a question of when rather than if he's going to take his first F1 win. It may not be today, it may be another week, but I think I could speak for all of us that we hope it will be today.
I mean, thinking about it as well, we had, of course, Lando Norris take that amazing pole, as you say, but let's also not forget the fact that we've had an interesting development in last year at this circuit. We had a great first-time win for George Russell. So there's an easy, and he got it in the sprint and went on to win the feature. Red Bull looked vulnerable. They were vulnerable here last year. Is it safe to put a bet on that maybe McLaren, who were 4th in the simulation data as best, could actually do the double? But he's got Perez and Verstappen right behind him, and his backup of Piastri is way, way down the order.
It's going to be tough, I think, for the Red Bulls, and I think there's been some discussions on when Perez was interviewed, will Verstappen help Perez get the results to help Perez secure P2 in the championship, because the gap between Perez and Hamilton is 20 points. So I think if the team doesn't start to help Perez in that regard, then that's going to fall flat. But Perez has got to put in the work in as well. We can't just have the team pulling in the way and then Perez not doing it at all. But I think if Red Bull want to have a 1-2 in the championship, they've got to work as a team. But we're about to get started.
Here it comes then. It's the Sao Paulo Grand Prix Sprint. It's the 40th anniversary edition of the Brazilian Grand Prix held at Interlagos, the Autodromo Juan Carlos Palace. It is round 20 of the 2023 Formula One World Championship, and there's only one other thing we can do on a Saturday here in Brazil. It's sprint time. It's the last of our triple header races in 2023, starting off with 2 races, one on the Saturday, one on the Sunday. It's a fast circuit, 4.309 kilometres, 24 laps ahead of us for today's sprint race. 56.84% of the lap is spent at full throttle, 42.98 metre elevation change, the high to turn 1 to the low at turn 5. A total of 15 corners. The drivers realistically only feel about 7 of them. It's an awesome circuit and it's an awesome grid. From back to front, Logan Sargent starts in 20th, Alexander Albon starts in 19th. Zhou Guanyu starts 18th with Lance Stroll in 17th position. 16th on the grid sees Esteban Ocon alongside Fernando Alonso. No time set for him after contact with Esteban Ocon as well. Valtteri Bottas is 14th alongside his Pierre Gasly in 13th position. 12th on the grid sees Nico Hülkenberg. Alongside him is Kevin Magnussen. Inside the top 10, once again, it's Oscar Piastri. Alongside him is Carlos Sainz in 9th. Danny Ricciardo starts 8th on the grid alongside Charles Leclerc in 7th. Yuki Tsunoda has 6th on the grid alongside Lewis Hamilton. The front 2 rows, though, that goes all the way as we have going through with George Russell, last year's sprint and Grand Prix winner, alongside Sergio Perez 3rd. Front row, though, Max Verstappen, and just for the second time in any race, both Grand Prix and sprint, Lando Norris is on pole position. Tensions through the roof, Jess. Atmosphere, as always, looking spectacular. What are you expecting ahead of today's 24-lap race?
Well, I'm expecting a lot of overtakes. The last few sprint races in Brazil have been amazing, especially I think people can go side by side between turn 5 and 6. That's pretty incredible. The run towards turn 4 could be quite exciting too. And the interesting strategy call on whether they're going to have DRS at certain corners as well. So, yeah, it's always been fun to watch. Last year's was pretty good. I expect this year's will be pretty good as well. I'm going to make a bold prediction. I'm expecting someone from lower down on the grid to get a decent result today.
Joining us in the commentary box, just loading in, is Ed Hunter, back with us as well. I've been looking forward to getting him on a Formula 1 race ever since the end of the FE season. He's just getting himself prepared. Cameras all set as well. If Ed has a camera, I'm not actually sure, but he's got to get ready. I can't remember what he said he was going to do in that regard, but we'll get it all sorted in a second. Omi will be here.
He's going to sort it anyway.
Yeah. As they come into it as well. Ed, can you hear us okay? Give him a second to get all set up and all ready to go. The formation lap is about to begin, though. We know coming into it. So away they go then on this circuit for 24 laps. Here's your starting tyres. Yeah, it's a free tyre choice. C4 soft, C3 medium, C2 is the hard tyres. And starting on used soft tyres are Norris, Verstappen, Perez, Russell, Hamilton, Leclerc, Sainz, Piastri, along with Gasly, Alonso, Ocon, Stroll and Albon. They're all starting on 3-lap-old soft compound tyres. Starting on 4-lap-old used mediums is going to be Magnussen and Hülkenberg. Brand new mediums for Sargent, and which means it's new tyres, new soft compound tyres for Yuki Tsunoda, Danny Ricciardo, Valtteri Bottas and Zhou Guanyu. So they're the drivers with the new tyres coming into it. Norris already coming into the top of the hill as well. It's followed as well by Verstappen and Russell, so it's coming in. Hopefully Ed is give us a signal when he's all good. You can hear us, it's all good. He's got a new setup, so it might take him a second to get it all sorted as we come into it. Jess, this is the thing we're looking at though. Perez v Hamilton, just 20 points between them going into the end of the championship.
And the way that Lewis was catching up in the last few races was pretty incredible as well. And the fact that he was happy with P2 in the race last week was pretty incredible. Yeah. I think he drove marvellously last week. He had the pace, and who knows, he could have the pace this weekend as well, but he's not showing it yet, and you can see the standings on the screen. Sainz and Alonso, by the way, joint on point.
That's so good to see. Ed, can you hear us? No, he's just having some technical issues as well to deal with. Oh,
we got Omi, though, in the pits.
They joined and disconnected at the same time. Hello, Ed.
Well, can you guys hear me?
We can.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello, Ed.
Yeah, that's better. I unplugged the microphone, put the webcam in, and the webcam didn't work either, so it couldn't have gone much worse. So I think I might have to go without. I just haven't got the USB slots to spare at the moment for this new Mac. But it should work a lot better, so I shouldn't cut out as much with the CPU overloading and overheating like some of these tyres on the formation map, I imagine. But wow, Lando Norris is going to be feeling confident. A lot of fireworks out at the back of my garden as well.
There's fireworks going on in next door's garden as well.
So it's the voice of Ed Hunter. Voice of Ed Hunter behind Ed.
Is that not enough?
Yeah, it's good. We can hear you. Welcome back. How have you been? You doing good?
Mostly. I think I'm desperately in need of a haircut, so it's almost just as well the microphone doesn't work.
I feel
But
your
yeah,
pain.
I've got also a bit of a cold today, so...
Oh, no.
Mum was saying over dinner, oh, your nose is a bit red, isn't it? Which is always nice to hear. But yeah, apart from that, I think I'm feeling okay. And certainly nice seeing it nice and sunny in Brazil. Quite a contrast to over here in the middle of November, beginning of November, I should say.
Let's go!
Green flags out.
3, 4, 5 lights for the last sprint. Action in Interlagos. It's a good start for Max Verstappen in the second phase of the start. Lando Norris will get the run to cut him off in towards turn 1. Verstappen forces his way through in the centre S. Norris will try and get the cut back. There's a locker further back as we see Perez already under attack from Russell, and it's been swiftly dealt with. Onto the grass goes Yuki Tsunoda. Piastri moves up into 9th position as well as they go side by side. Off the track goes Fernando Alonso, comes back on a bit dangerously. Hamilton looking around the outside of Perez, coming into the scene of the lager, really close together, and he's got him. So already Perez is on, and there's Lando Norris on Piastri. Piastri running wide, yeah. I wonder if he's got a bit of a puncture there. Great start from Verstappen. He leads from Perez, and Perez dropped out to 5th position. The two Mercedes definitely getting ahead. It's drama further back. What a start though, Jess.
Well, I have to say, as someone was pointing out, I think yesterday, whoever starting in second place. Oh, we got Piastri. No, it's
that's Norris.
Russell that's got past Norris. So, well, good job for him. He's up to second.
Ed, it was perfect getaway. Now Russell's going to make a charge. It's like 12 months ago.
Possibly, but Verstappen really got the job done into turn 1. He just got the better launch off the line. It looked like McLaren sort of bogged down a bit, and Norris was sort of just exposed on the outside as we see Alonso continue to drop down the field. Aston will be really happy that they're starting in 3rd and 4th tomorrow, aren't they? Because they're certainly dropping down here, so this isn't a good omen if it's straight. But Alonso fighting back up the inside of Nico Hülkenberg.
And Hülkenberg's going to go wide, the outside line. He'll keep it through the centre S, shuts it down in the curve de Sol. And now Norris under attack from Lewis Hamilton. Coming down into turn 4. Alonso further back, trying to have a slipstream again on the two Haas cars. Remember, the two Haas starting on the mediums, and they're on 5-lap hard softs. Here's the start though, Jess. And it's a good getaway from Lando, but Verstappen just got him.
It's a very good run into the first corner for Max Verstappen on the inside as well. That straight line speed was pretty incredible as well. And you could see that Russell was starting 4th. He managed to overtake Perez at the start, and now it was Lewis Hamilton that was going to be overtaking him soon as well. So Mercedes looking quick around here, which was great to see as well. So I didn't see, I thought Russell got past him like later on in the lap, but it was earlier on in the lap. So it shows that he likes this track. Shame he's starting a bit late, further back tomorrow due to his penalty, but he can still come back from it. That just gives us good promises in the race. Daniel Ricciardo's been told to use his overtake as we got. Oh, this is a battle for P4. Lewis Hamilton just about keeps Perez into good shape.
Yeah, that was a bit close. Perez trying to go around the outside there, but it was a good start, Ed, from Verstappen. But Norris got the initial launch, and then Verstappen jumped ahead. But the Mercedes got a great traction start. It's rare to see Mercedes having better starts than the Red Bull this year.
It is, yeah, and Red Bull we know is very, very easy on its tyres, so to speak. But yeah, disappointing start for Perez and a brilliant start for Max Verstappen. And Russell doing very, very well actually to keep Verstappen within DRS. He's still about 6-7 tenths behind, so Verstappen's going to try and break out of that because you've got the double DRS, one at the start-finish straight and the other at the Red Raposta going into turn 4. I tell you who really impressed me in qualifying, Yuki Tsunoda, qualifying in the top 6, wasn't it? And Leclerc just sort of bullied him out of the way in the first couple of corners of the race there, which I imagine he won't be too pleased about.
Yeah, swapping over. Leclerc started 7th, as you say, in that race. Omi, you were in the pit lane. What did you make of that getaway start?
Yeah, definitely an interesting start. The inside line always does go very, very well. Did so for Max Verstappen. Just had the nose in there and was able to make the move. But here comes Perez.
Perez trying to go out the outside and gets the move done even before the centre S. As we see again, Carlos Sainz trying to go at Yuki Tsunoda. Not going to pay off there. It looks like Hamilton again going to get the slipstream of the exit of the centre S. Round the outside of the curve de Sol. Perez gives him just enough exit space, but Hamilton will have the DRS. Up now in towards turn number 4 is Hamilton on the outside. Perez holding the inside. They tried this at 21, and Hamilton nearly losing his win. On the inside, here comes Charles Leclerc coming up the hill towards Ferradura. Leclerc's going to try and hold it. Last year he ended up in the barrier with Lando Norris at that part of the track in the sprint race, and they just hold it together. Hamilton Hamilton goes through into 5th position, keeps it ahead of Leclerc. Perez stays in 4th, and Hamilton is now really starting to struggle. He's on 6th lap all time. They're all on the same amount of tyres, but they're just not getting the traction.
And don't forget, Mercedes have that upgrade as well. So maybe for Lewis, it's not working as it was intended to for him right now. But you can see Perez is pulling a great gap, which shows that how powerful the Red Bull is in comparison to the Mercedes. And this is going to be a great battle for second championship, remember. And I think Perez has been told to get the hammer down as well. And we're watching some other drivers battling. We've got Piastri on Daniel Ricciardo. As that's Norris past Russell. So Norris, I think it's Mercedes that had the good start on the stint, and then I think it was McLaren tyre saving, and that's what's helping him a little bit. But he's going to get the DRS on Lando Norris heading in towards turn 4. Does he do Largo? No, he doesn't get past he stays behind. But look at the AlphaTauri right behind the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. Oh no, it's Tsunoda actually. My bad.
Yeah, Tsunoda down into 7th position as Lando takes P2. There's a 1.5 gap between himself and Verstappen. DRS has been enabled now as they come into it, so we'll slowly see those gaps close back up. Now, Verstappen has had interesting race pace. If you look back at the practice 1 session, he ran mainly on the hard compound tyre. So they've tried to extrapolate as much as they possibly can, but they've got no simulations on the softs. The only thing that Verstappen did was in qualifying really ragged them when they knew that those sets weren't going to be used. So at the end of Q2 yesterday, he was taking it through Hisonoda.
Moving under the braking.
You're allowed.
Oh, so Ed, exactly what you were saying. Leclerc forced him out of the way. Now apparently he's moving under braking. Leclerc just doesn't want to let the AlphaTauri through.
Yeah, and we saw him get quite close with Hamilton as well when Hamilton's move on Perez didn't quite work out, as this is Alonso trying on the other Haas of Kevin Magnussen. Both the Haas is going on the mediums, and it's really not worked out for them so far. Look at Hulkenberg being passed by Ocon in the background. Alonso has another go round the outside of Curva de Sol and sets himself up. And the Retroposta into Descida de Largo turn 4. Surely the Aston Martin's got the inside. Alonso breaks late. Magnussen has to slot in behind.
Those Haas cars are slipping. Alonso is going to be enjoying this a little bit more, but Haskes have got to really hold it together and know that they can have their time later on in the session. Now, on board with Esteban Ocon, he's going to try and go around the outside, and this is the move you saw, Ed, just slipstreaming so much better. Haas have got no traction on those mediums, and Sargent hasn't either. He's still in 20th. Oh, hang on.
Warming up the tyres is really tricky, and in fact we got no sunlight at all for a second there, because apparently we're still in replay.
We thought that was a repeat of
like
yesterday, but no.
Everything went...
No storm cloud, thankfully.
Everything just went off. Albon
radio.
There's oil coming out the back of Valtteri's car.
Do you know,
I saw that.
I did, and I saw the puff of smoke, and I was wondering where it came from, coming through the first 2 corners. So Valtteri Bottas with problems, and he has dropped 1.1 seconds back to Hulkenberg. Oh, hang on a minute, 3/10 behind Hulkenberg, I think, on that gap. It's hard to tell on these graphics at the moment. I need to look at my interval screen between them.
So I saw that look up Evan towards turn number 1, and I'm starting to think that might be some oil from Bottas's car.
I think
but that was like a lap ago.
I think Sargent's gone off the track. Look, lap 5. Sargent off track, continued turn 1. So I think Sargent must have got lost on some of the oil because there was some dust up and Sargent went straight.
Ah, and his lap time is deleted. Not really that surprising, to be honest, as well.
Yeah, so there was 2 differences there. As we're on board with Oscar Piastri, he runs in 10s at the moment. Comically enough, he went on. Oh, and there's a twitch coming through the oranges corner. Just a little bit of understeer on those tyres. So yesterday he flew off the track and ended up in 10th position. Now he's run off the track in qualifying earlier on and starts 10th as well. As we take a look, that's Perez chasing down Russell. Interesting enough, Norris has extended the gap to him and Russell to 1.9, and he's closing in on Verstappen. The gap now 1.7, and not Russell, fastest lap, but Perez has the DRS into the center S. Russell goes defensive, Perez round the outside line, and it's easily done before the braking zone even has to come in. Perez a little bit wide, but that'll give Russell the DRS detection coming down the Retroposta. So now it's attack number 2. Russell will fight back. Perez goes defensive using his ERS deployment. Russell round the outside into Descina de Largo. Side by side. Perez backs out. Russell goes through. The crowd go wild.
That was absolutely insane battling between Russell and Perez. Kept their nose is clean as well, even though it was a DRS overtake at the end of the day. But Russell had to try and go for an unconventional move, which was hard to do, and at least they didn't make contact this time. So that's always good news. And all this is doing is helping Hamilton in some way as well, try to close in on Sergio Perez. So I'm sure Russell's been kept up to date on Hamilton's progress as well. So let's look at the replay. So Perez to the outside into turn 1, and then we got George Russell with the DRS, and he's now going on the outside heading towards turn 2. So the outside line seems to have worked for both cars, but unfortunately Perez seems to be the one that did not work. But he's gonna have another chance, Josh, into T1.
Yeah, Perez getting the slipstream, thinks about a move to the inside line. Russell's defending that outside line like crazy. He was almost off the track. And I think, Ed, as well, Perez now knows exactly how to attack, and it's got to have to be into turn 4.
Yeah, that Red Bull just seems to have so much more grip at the moment. I think the Mercedes here in Brazil seems to be a bit easier switching on those tyres. As you see, Albon getting past Hulkenberg for 16th, so that's good.
Nice, radio.
Williams are on the back row.
Your awareness, Russell and Perez are fighting behind.
It's okay, man. Let me just focus. I can see.
Talking about the gaps. Back to you, Ed.
It's like shut up, basically, with what Norris is trying to say.
Leave me alone.
I know what I'm doing. Leave me alone.
I know what I'm doing. Leave me alone, as Kimi said. I can't remember what.
Abu Dhabi.
Was that Abu Dhabi about 11 years ago, 2012, where Kimi was leading the race, and then the safety car came out,
and then his engineer was talking in his ear.
He said, I'm doing it all the time. You don't have to remind me every half second.
Leave me alone. I know what I'm doing.
I love Kimi. I miss him so much.
I need to find that clip, actually.
We do. 15 to go as we come into it. Lap 10 and 24. It's the longest sprint race we actually have of the year in terms of that's Perez dives through on the inside line at turn number 1. That is so well done, and he'll block him off. Russell will be out of traction coming through Curva de Sol, and I don't think he'll have the DRS momentum. Look, Russell's gone wide. He's been caught up in the tag. He'll get it close, but I think Perez, absolutely dive bombing, has caught in the position, and it has. Beautiful from Perez.
I have to say, I've been very impressed with
Norris.
Yeah.
I've been very impressed in terms of Perez's racing at the moment. This is what we are expecting from a Red Bull driver. Actual pace and actual great moves. I think he's been told to put the hammer down for the last few races, because otherwise he'll lose his seat. So I think maybe these could be the next few races to show that he can do that. But yeah, I'm liking Perez's performance so far. One of my drivers of the day so far.
Yes, isn't he? Because he only had to do that because he made a really rubbish start and Russell got by him.
Exactly. But it shows the Red Bulls have good race pace.
So he's had 4 retirements this year, Perez. 2 in the sprints, 1, of course, in Belgium and Qatar, then 2 in the races, Japan and Mexico. Yeah, so I'm surprised he hasn't actually retired, but he is a sprint winner this year. He won the sprint race in Baku, the first one of the year. Max has won 3, Austria, Belgium, USA. Piastri, of course, won in Qatar. Ricciardo having a look on Sainz until turn 1. Closing distance was in. And do you reckon as well, Ed, I want to get your thoughts because you've been on the broadcast for a while. Oh, Sainz has a big twitch coming out of the centre S. That's going to allow Ricciardo to get in the traction. Sainz's rear Ferrari is stepping out more and more. As it gets down, Ricciardo should be able to have a little look. He's getting close. Sainz goes defensive. Ricciardo can't get quite close enough. Might have the run up for the Ferradora. Looks okay to me. So do you think as well, Ed, that Perez is being told in the last 3 races, perform, or we're going to swap you with Ricciardo? Because Ricciardo's performance has been amazing the last couple of races.
Well, he's only been back a couple of races, though, since his hand injury, so we still haven't really seen a consistent baseline of performance. The other thing is, I think Ricciardo, the whole reason he left Red Bull in the first place was so he didn't have to be Verstappen's teammate, and Verstappen has only really got stronger since then, so I think Ricciardo...
He'd probably regret leaving Red Bull, though, after what
happened.
happened.
Well, I don't know how much he was being paid by Renault and then McLaren, but
yeah,
compared to what he was being paid at Red Bull.
I think when he joined McLaren, I think a year after, he probably regretted leaving Red Bull.
Yeah, I think it was clear that the environment, the setup, just didn't really suit him, and he has that very particular driving style. Here we go. We're going to see it in action now.
AlphaTauris,
Ricciardo.
Ricciardo, as we were talking about him, on the outside.
And he's through.
Can he get the move tick? Oh no, we got the switch back from Sainz.
He's had the DRS.
Maybe.
Sainz will have that DRS. Ricardo knows it. Has to go defensive. Blocks him on the inside. Sainz pulls to the outside line down the retroposter. That's going to be close. And yep, Sainz goes through. But it's Ricardo giving enough room to Piastri. There weren't that much separating them. So is Piastri going to fancy a little run here? 2 tenths on the timing screen, it's saying, as he comes up towards Fedadora. No. So Ricardo's got that one closed off.
No, it doesn't look like it. No.
In answer to
Albon's
your...
having problems. He's saying, are the brakes going or something? Because I feel like there's no gear.
Oh dear. Go on, Ed.
He has got up to 15th though, so he has gained a position despite the brakes starting to die on him. So he must be just braking a bit later than everyone else, I guess.
To stand by though, so but we'll see what happens. Let's hope it's not a brake by wire issue.
Look at this, Alonso's caught up to the back of this battle as well, right behind Gasly, who's all over the back of Piastri, so that's one to watch. But as for Perez, has he been told, I think Red Bull will do what they usually do, which is completely 100% get behind their driver until they sack them immediately after, which we've seen so many times in that second seat, and Ricciardo having another go. This time thinks better of it as Gasly, has Alonso just trying to get alongside him now.
Yeah, double move coming into turn 1. Didn't work out. Sainz is holding everybody up now as well down this straight. And look at Alonso. He's looking so racy to Gasly as he pulls around the outside. It's a favour of the outside attempting to Cinderlaga. Stroll's trying to do the same. And something flew off the back of Esteban Ocon's car there. But Stroll has made a move. Oh my goodness, somebody hold the press. Stroll's made a move. And it's paid off for that accident. And Alonso's almost 2 wheels off the track. Coming into Ferradura side by side with Pierre Gasly. And Gasly's trying to have a lunge on the inside of Piastri. Oh, Trapri.
They're all catching up, aren't they? And Perez has been updated about the balance, and he's been trying to control the rear on traction. He's been told to push forward the bias if we can, so moving up the brake bias basically to a higher percentage.
Alonso just said, yeah, he touched me, braking for 6. So copy. And Ricciardo's being told press and hold overtake exit of turn 3. So Ricciardo's going to have the DRS all the way down through Aquabaris in towards turn 1 of the centre S, and Ricciardo looks to the outside line on Carlos Sainz. Sainz holds the car dead centre. Ricciardo's doing a Jensen Button, and it's paid off beautifully. Beautiful move. That was almost Montoya and Schumacher-esque back in 2001. Ricciardo's got the overtake button on. He'll go defensive. Sainz will go back round the outside. Piastri's in there. There's a tree in the way. Sainz goes through. And Ricciardo...
tree in the way.
Well, a valiant effort from Ricciardo, but he couldn't make it stick. And Piastri's now following him through. And here comes Gasly and Alonso.
Watch Norris as well.
Oh, yeah.
Norris. That was a lovely crease.
Norris is almost within DRS of Verstappen.
Oh, Piastri! Piastri's dive bombed the inside line. Beautiful move. Coming into turn 8 and 9. And now round the outside. Here comes Gasly. Here comes Alonso. They're all bunched up together. Now Ricciardo's really going to be annoying now. Really annoyed at Sainz.
Can we say this has been the best sprint race of the season so far?
Nah, Qatar was
amazing.
Oh, I love the inside. That's Sean Cow. Alonso making moves.
Well, there's been moves everywhere in every corner.
Things like that will keep happening.
Can we have the same like this tomorrow, please?
Gasly's going to go around the outside, down towards the centre S, in towards turn 1. Alonso really trying to hold the inside line. It's going to go super late.
God.
He's learned that from Raikkonen and with Schumacher, side by side. And Gasly stays through. Alonso has stood no chance with no traction. Oh, but Gasly gets a wiggle on. He's got no traction coming through turn 3. Alonso sinks it round the outside. Yeah, and here comes that's Stroll. Ocon in there too. They're all getting involved. Stroll's coming through. That's Gasly on the inside line. Alonso round the outside. They nearly touch it. Alonso round the outside. Beautiful move from Fernando Alonso at 42 years old. And the track he won his 2 world titles at. He proves that you can learn new tricks on the old dog. And now can Stroll get through as well. Stroll made a move on Ocon a few laps ago. Now he's going to have to do it again on Gasly.
Russell radio.
Yeah, I can see why.
It is.
This is a consecutive race. Go on.
confirms that Mercedes aren't very good at tyre saving in a race situation like this. With so many fast corners here at Sao Paulo, it just really plays
They're like me.
Pierre Gasly.
Yeah, we have to make a decision here if we're going to push the high speed or not.
Yes, we are going to push the high speed, Max. I've been telling you for the last 3 laps. Norris is 2.5 tenths quicker than you in 6 and 7.
They're like me because usually in some races, I'm good at the start of the stint, but towards the end, the tyres go in terms of tyre temps and all that, and I just lose pace compared to my rivals.
Oh, don't give away all the secrets, Jess. Aren't you a Red Bull esports driver now?
well, I haven't officially started yet, so.
Okay. Well, let's hope nobody's watching this stream then, because then they might have taken thoughts hearing that you can't save the tyres to the end of the race. But hopefully by then you're so far ahead it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Well, that's the point. I'm there to learn. So.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I wonder. That's
Tell you what, I'm
interesting.
learning about being a team owner as well. With Josh technically as well.
That is true.
And we are 2-time British Touring Car champions. In fact, we're entering Grand Prix Virtual on our Factor 2. We're going to enter
Are we?
the Sprint 2
Perfect.
team with Joe Gillette.
Josh is like, are we?
This is how I wanted to tell you in the middle of the sprint race. Yeah, we got Joe Gillette.
Josh
Best
is
of
getting
Mankind.
so excited. Look at him.
We got Fahid Ahmed. Both of them have finished on the podium in Academy, which is the training season. We've also got Caroline Harvig, a female driver, who's the sister of Matthias Harvig, who's done very, very well.
Really
Oh, I was wondering that.
It's our academy, yes, and in fact,
When's that
Caroline's getting a lot
starting?
of tuition from the next year, I think.
Next year.
Oh, next
probably
year,
about
okay.
February, March. That's when that starts. But
That's
Caroline's the reserve driver.
quite long way away.
Yeah, well, we have to get the entry in advance. We might even get rejected.
Oh,
yet, but
right,
fingers
okay.
crossed. Anyway, yeah, I thought I'd just tell because the race seemed to die
Perfect.
down a bit. Russell just said
It
everyone's
has
so far ahead.
died down a
nothing
bit,
going on.
hasn't it? But
Great move by Piastri, though. I was really enjoying that Ricciardo Piastri battle. And it really shows the new generation of Australian talent showing what it can do. And Ricciardo's been given a little something to think about there. He was defending really well up until that point, but that risky move on Sainz didn't quite work out for him.
oh, that is Alonso almost trying to get past Danny Ricciardo, and this is the fight that we're seeing between Piastri, Ricciardo, Alonso, Gasly, and Stroll, all within one DRS train. And Ocon is catching up to that train too, and we also got Tsunoda catching up to Charles Leclerc.
Such a shame all these guys are outside the points, isn't it? It's 8th
Yeah.
place.
Oh
Sainz
yeah,
at
it
the last
is, isn't
draw.
it? I completely forgot about that.
In a way, it is the
There's
battle for the
Piastri
last
trying to
point.
chase them.
Yeah, it's the battle for the last points position because Sainz is, well, actually, no, he's 1.8 now ahead of Piastri. Oh, there he is. So, yeah, you're completely right. Ignore me. But Ken Tsunoda, no, that's Ricciardo. Tsunoda's already seconds up the field. That's a move around the outside, trying. Oh, and a lock-up coming in from Gasly, and that's going to force him wide. Stroll's going to get the comeback. Go on, Lance. Round the outside. Beauty!
Wow.
That's more like
He's going to get DRS as well, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Do you think Stroll is performing a lot better this weekend, and he's starting third tomorrow? I pray to God he does well tomorrow.
Sort of driving for his life, isn't it? Rumours going around that Aston Martin's, as part of the stake, is up for sale. That Lawrence Stroll owns a significant amount of that with the consortium. There's also rumours that Alonso is leaving the team. They've been shut down quite quickly. Alonso saying that when he finds out who started
He's
them...
staying at Aston Martin.
Yeah, when he finds out who starts it, he's going to have a go at them. And, well, it's Alberto Freire
There
who's
will be
saying...
consequences, I think, was what he said. He
That's the
sounds
one.
like a Bond villain.
Yeah, there will be
Why would
consequences.
people want to start rumours? It's ridiculous.
Well, it was Alberto...
attention, yeah.
it was Alberto Freire, and then it was also Will Buxton. Matt Tomas got involved with it as well. And then, yeah, there's a few of them going around. What about those?
That
silly
is
rumours?
ridiculous.
Kept us
Well, to be
entertained.
fair, they're so vague about it that,
Yeah.
that they can sort of deny it's plausible deniability, right? You
Yes.
can just say, "Oh, I hope what I've heard isn't true." Oh, is it this? Is it that? Is it that? Oh, it's none of them.
I got told in San Marino last year that Vettel was retiring. That was what, round 2 or 3 of the season, maybe round 4. And
But that was true.
Yeah, I said it straight away on the Grid Network. Said, look, Vettel's retiring. That's it. It's all going to be announced mid-season. And then bang, it got announced. It was made that early in the year.
I think he probably made that decision before it got announced, to be fair, like way before it got announced.
I think he made the decision before the season had even started, to be fair, that it was going to be his last one.
Exactly,
Yeah.
but he didn't want people to know because
Yeah.
he just wanted to get on with the season, which is fair enough, understandable, right?
If I could hear it in my garage in the UK, commentary box. How the hell did anyone not hear it in the paddock for that long? It was sort of like Chinese whispers going around. But I heard it from the Aston Martin.
It was.
I heard it from the Aston Martin mechanic. I got it told, and it was right. So, very trustworthy source I go to. I was a little bit wide there through Zheng Cao for Danny Ricciardo, and Alonso just behind him in 11th position is going to have the slipstream up the hill through Super de Boxes into Aqua Boreas at turn 15. And then coming to the last corner, Ricciardo's going to have a run this time on Piastri over 9th position. He's going to go on the outside. Two Australians side by side. And yeah, Piastri shows in the door. Piastri starts 10th tomorrow as well, so this is really a great look to see what he's going to have in terms of action in tomorrow's race. But don't forget, we'll have our first pit stop at that point. The soft tyres made to go 24 laps, but realistically, we'll see them pitting after about 16 tomorrow.
Yes. Hamilton's complaining about rear tyres, according to Leclerc's engineer.
Right. Explains why he's dropped off so much to Russell, the gap 3.9.
And Leclerc's winning DRS of Lewis Hamilton, gained 1 second over 3 laps.
It's been a cracking little sprint. It's not the likes of Qatar, where all hell broke loose, but it's been very good.
I think it's been the sprint race of the season because we didn't need craziness to have the good battles.
Yeah.
We are having good battles. And it's been a sprint race for the entirety that it's been introduced. And when I think they should keep it at Brazil because it never disappoints. Never.
Oh, and hang on here. Hamilton.
Oh, there's Leclerc on Hamilton. And Hamilton's trying to do the cut back round the outside into turn 2.
Well, Hamilton's going to get
done there, but Hamilton's going to get the DRS. Bit squirmy there. There's also Yuki Tsunoda going to join the fight as well. He's going to go side by side past Tsunoda into the Deposta.
Tsunoda's going to
let Yuki do this.
Tsunoda's going to have that inside line. That's going to be very tight. Hamilton's going to shut the door. Tsunoda can still get the exit pace. No! That was fantastic. And this is because of Hamilton's tyres struggling. So Yuki's just got to bide his time here and he'll get through. But Leclerc wasn't that great at the exit of the Centre S either. He was twitching like crazy. Hamilton losing pace.
Why is my camera gone? I don't know. But Yuki is on newer tyres, 3-lap newer tyres in Hamilton. So I wonder if Lewis's tyres are starting to go. Hold on, let me fix my camera.
3 to go
What happened to Hamilton?
Say again?
What happened to Hamilton? I just quickly went past.
Tyres are gone.
His tyres were gone, so and Yuki almost got past him because he was on newer tyres. I think he's going to get him here.
He is. This is going to be it, isn't it? Ed up the corner. Tsunoda's going to have the run.
Right, my camera's back on.
Very, very impressive. Tsunoda then sets up the move, gets amazing slipstream and overspeed. Round the outside goes the AlphaTauri before they get to the Centre S, and Lewis has to drop out.
Oh, that's Ricciardo!
Very, very early, but here comes Ricciardo and the sister AlphaTauri using its straight line speed to go round the outside of Oscar Piastri. So Ricciardo showing he's still got enough tyre life in that AlphaTauri.
Come on,
to, make a move with 2
AlphaTauri!
laps to go. Yeah, exactly. They've only got one of their cars in the points, though, in the form of Tsunoda.
But points are points.
Exactly, yeah. And they're in that fight with Williams now. They're only 12 points behind. It's going to be
Williams, Haas, and Alfa Romeo.
If Tsunoda scores 6 and gets, 4 points, isn't it, for 6th in the sprint race?
No, 3.
That's going to be 3. So it's going to be a 9-point gap then coming into
So this was the move. Lewis was struggling. Look at that. The traction.
Yeah, and Tsunoda just breezing around the outside. This is Ricciardo on the traction with Piastri as well. Ricciardo's got the DRS, pulls to the outside line. Nice and easy, does it? Round the outside, perfect manoeuvre. Now, Tsunoda is going to have his 2nd highest point scoring of the season, and it's going to come in a sprint race. He had 1 point.
It's going to be his best ever finish as well.
Yeah, highest of the year because...
didn't he finish 4th in Abu Dhabi 21?
But this year I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're right.
You're correct.
10th in Australia, 10th in Azerbaijan. Then he finished 8th in the United States. So this will be his highest finish of the year. As I thought Alonso was going to make a move there as I put my stats back up on the wall. But yeah, this will be his highest finish in a race this year. And it's less points. So that's a big insult to him.
Typical. Where Tsunoda's, don't forget, starting near the back tomorrow.
Yes, he does. Tsunoda will start down in 16th place for tomorrow's race.
Well, so if he scores points today, at least he's going to score points in general.
And Danny Ricciardo for tomorrow's race, looking at my stat sheet, starts in 17th. So Tsunoda 16th, Ricciardo 17th. So both AlphaTauris not having points, but so we'll watch out to see if Ricciardo can get Sainz in the last lap. The gap is 1 point, well, actually 1.2 now. Changed as I say, but this is the last lap of the F1 sprint of 2023. We've had 6 of them now across from Azerbaijan over to Austria, then over to Belgium, Qatar, United States, and now here as well in Sao Paulo. Arguably Qatar's, I think, was one of the best ones. This has been really entertaining again. Constant battles throughout. And can Alonso have a go on Piastri here for the top 10?
We'll have to wait and see as they head towards the start-finish line. I think Alonso could try and go down the inside, maybe. He's going to try it. He's going to go for a dive bomb. Can he do it? Oh, the cutback for Piastri, though. This is great racing.
Spectacular from Piastri, right round the outside, and Alonso, I think, got caught by complete surprise, as he's going to have to do that once again, down the retroposta to the inside line, lay on the brakes, no. So that might be the last opportunity for an overtake. There's only 2 on this track, down at turn 1 and down at turn 4. Here comes Max Verstappen, though. He's already been crowned it, but out of 6 sprint races, he's won 4. It is the sprint championship for Max Verstappen, who wins here on Saturday, Sao Paulo. Lando Norris will finish in 2nd position. Sergio Perez will come home to round out in bronze, 3rd place. Russell will be 4th across the line, but we wait to see whether or not there will be a battle. As look at that, Sainz and Ricciardo, just 3 tenths between them as they are battling together over the last points paying position. This is the crucial time. Ricciardo's on the track, he's on the button. Can he get ahead of Sainz for that last point? Coming into towards the line, he's got the DRS, so Sainz right up to the line. He pulls up, and it's Sainz and 8th, Ricciardo side by side. Doesn't happen. 2 tenths at the line. An amazing attempt from Ricciardo to gain 1.1 seconds in the last lap. It doesn't work out, but a valiant try. Max Verstappen, though, for the 4th time this year, wins the F1 sprint. He is the sprint champion, and he's claimed the majority of them once more. Norris 2nd, and Perez rounds out the podium.
That was some fun. Nice job.
Yeah, good race. I think we executed that well. Much better than last year.
Yeah, well done, Max. That's a great start to the weekend. Well done. A lot of good information there.
Finished. What do you make of that, Jess?
I really enjoyed that race. That was fun. Brazil always brings out good surprises, and my drives of the day, I think Perez did really well, Tsunoda, Ricciardo, and Piastri defending on Ricciardo for a moment was brilliant as well. But Norris?
Yeah, I know. Just didn't have the pace in the end. Too much there comparing to him, but good effort.
Yeah, good job, man.
Could easily change tomorrow. Ed, what do you make of it?
Well, it was impressive for Norris to finish P2, considering, like you said, the amount of deg he had. And Perez, even though he got by Russell very quickly, he couldn't hold a candle to Norris, I thought. And those moves were good, but he shouldn't have had to make them, as I said earlier, Jess, in my opinion. I think Yuki Tsunoda really impressed me because he, for the first time this season, really, he very much outperformed Daniel Ricciardo, who is no.
And he almost said he got past Lewis.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Ricciardo, for his part, if Piastri hadn't made that move on him, he probably would have caught Sainz before the end there and maybe had another go at him. But it's certainly an ominous sign for tomorrow. Verstappen starts on pole tomorrow as well. He really had that one, not maybe even by the end of the first lap, by the end of the first corner, really, once he got past Norris, because from then on, he really just had things completely under control. But Perez, that will at least boost his confidence being on the podium for the first time, even if it's a sprint podium in what feels like donkey's years.
When was the last time Perez won any sort of podium? Hang on, I'm checking my notes backwards. Italy, 2nd. Wow. So that's a very long time since the Italian Grand Prix.
Very long time.
Well, only 2 months ago, but there's a lot of races that were fit into that time.
That's true.
Yeah, too much races.
I mean, what
I think
about
this
you?
will certainly be interesting to see what progress Norris can make tomorrow.
Yeah.
And what he did in the sprint there. But even though it's easy to overtake here, starting 9th and 10th on the grid or whatever it is going to be tricky.
It's
especially because we know those Mercedes are going to really hold up a lot of the runners behind. So Aston Martin, I guess we're going to try and make hay while the sun shines in 3rd and 4th.
I mean, what did you make of it?
Yep, a very good sprint race, actually. Quite a lot of action coming in there as well. A lot of moves, and the battle's continuing down to turn 4. Hopefully we see it tomorrow as well, obviously with the pit stops coming in. But yeah, well, to be honest, I do agree with Ed on Sergio Perez. He shouldn't have had to make those moves, and also he couldn't get close to Norris, so that's not too good. So he has still a lot to work on.
Here's the post-race interviews then, hosted by Naomi Schiff.
Checo, congratulations on third place for you today. We saw some really nice battles out there between you and George. How was the race from your perspective?
Yeah, it was not an easy one. I had a terrible start, ended up losing a place to George, and then another place to Lewis into turn 4, and then from then on I was fighting. I had to use all of my tires, and then I think I paid the price towards the end. And overall it's been a good day, good points there, but yeah, unfortunately I think without the start we could have been a lot further up.
We had a lot of interaction on the radio between Max and GP about tire deg and maintaining the tires. Were you dealing with that a lot in the car as well? And as you said, those battles didn't allow you really to not push as much as you would need to.
Yeah, the problem I had is that I couldn't manage. You know, I had to push, and we know that this place is very sensitive for that. So I ended up pushing a lot, and yeah, unfortunately, there in the end, it ended up costing us.
Well, you scored 6 points there. Lewis only scored 1. That gives you 5 points more in the buffer between the two of you. How important is that for you?
Obviously, it's important, but it's more important, you know, to keep the momentum going now. We had very good day overall, and yeah, hopefully tomorrow, which is the main race, we can consolidate on a strong result.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Unfortunately, not the win you would have wanted to have today, but it's still a second place. What happened off the line, though? It seems like reaction times initially were pretty decent, and then at the end, Max just seemed to have more power.
No, he doesn't have more power. I think I have more power, but I don't know. I have to review it. It's something to look back onto. Like you said, my initial start was good, but the second phase of the launch, maybe I was just a bit conservative. I don't think I had any wheel spin. I was just a little bit on the safe side, so things to improve for tomorrow. But nevertheless, caught sleeping a little bit with George on lap 1, but the pace was strong after, and I tried to go after Max, but just didn't have enough. But it was good fun.
You say the pace was strong, but it seemed that Max was managing quite a lot initially when you were in striking distance, and then at the end he pulled quite a big gap. Does that make you a little bit more concerned for tomorrow? You've got to fight back from 7th, I believe it is. So 6th it is. Does that concern you for tomorrow, or what did you feel about your race pace compared to those around you?
I mean, there was no one around me apart from Max, and he's in a Red Bull. So I know I'm not concerned. If anything, encouraged a lot with how good our pace was today. We're not fighting necessarily Max. I think we're talking about competing against one of the best drivers in one of the best cars that's ever been in Formula 1. We're not going to suddenly be fighting a Red Bull in the track, which we almost didn't expect to be as good as it has been again. So many good surprises and a lot of positives for us. Of course, tomorrow I'll try again, but have to do a bit more overtaking.
Tomorrow's another day. Maybe we'll see another Mexico drive from 6th place.
I'll try.
Good luck.
Thank you. Cheers.
Max, congratulations. That's another victory this season for a sprint race. How was it out there for you?
Yeah, I think it was, of course, important to try and get ahead at the start. I think the initial launch wasn't, let's say, amazing, but the second part of the start was very good. So we got alongside, and yeah, then it was all about management. You know, here this track, there's a lot of deck. The tires are wearing a lot, so 24 laps on one tire set is very long. So we're just trying to maintain a constant lap time, and I think we managed the race quite well out there today.
Were you surprised to see, though, how much deg there was? Because there was quite a bit of conversation between you and your engineer. We were surprised to see the whole grid, majority of the whole grid was on softs. And then for you all, or most of you, to be managing, was that a bit of a surprise or expected?
No, I mean, last year was very difficult for us around here, so today was much better. But yeah, it's still, I think for everyone out there, you know, you can't push flat out. It's all about just keeping the tires under control, and I think, yeah, we did that well today.
Well, tomorrow's another day. today. Are you encouraged by your pace today for a potential victory tomorrow in front of a crowd that you like to visit quite a lot?
Yeah, it's a great start. I think we learned a lot during that race, and hopefully, we can do something similar tomorrow.
Fantastic. Good luck. Thank you.
No idea what's happened to our streaming software. That everything just went whoops. So apologies for that. With all this split screen, I think something. Some sort of hotkeys got stuck up, so that's a new one to us. But anyway, here's Ed Hunter.
Might be because I turned the webcam on. Hey.
Hello. You doing okay then? Nice to see you again. Up in the
I haven't got the
pictures.
keyboard and mouse plugged in, so it's going to be difficult to exit this call now.
We can kick you.
Because
I think.
Yeah, we could kick you.
Oh, that's a good point.
Not now, obviously.
Yeah. Has your mic been unplugged? The mic sounds different as well.
Oh, it's probably using the webcam mic.
All right, well,
Yeah, it's using the webcam mic.
We'll get that sorted. There's the trophies, though, the little plaques for first, second, and third being presented now to Verstappen, Norris, and Perez as well. Okay, so we'll switch that off and confirm the
Verstappen,
results.
Norris, and Perez. You said Perez twice.
Did I? Oh, I'm too tired. I've not
I've
had
talked
any
about it
food.
too many times.
Yeah, it's sort of been cursed in our minds, isn't it? Anyway, here's the results then. It is Verstappen from Norris and Perez 1, 2, 3. Then it's Russell, Leclerc, Tsunoda, Hamilton, Sainz, Ricciardo, Piastri, the top 10. Alonso 11th, followed by Stroll, Gasly, Ocon, Albon, Magnussen, Zhou, Hulkenberg, Bottas, and Sargent. And once again, I think for only the 4th time this year, every car that has started a race has finished it. So, again, more records coming into the proceedings. Okay, final thoughts then. And we'll start with Omi in the pit lane. Omi, final thoughts on the sprint race?
Yeah, a very, very good sprint race indeed. A lot of action, a lot of overtaking. Just hoping it carries into tomorrow. Brazil always does deliver, so let's hope it carries into tomorrow. We see some more action. Charles Leclerc starting in second. Let's hope he can take the lead into turn number 1 and hold Verstappen up for a bit and keep the race a bit more interesting, even at the front of the field.
Jess?
Oh, I was trying to remember if my mic was muted or not, but yeah. Final thoughts from me, tie degradation for Ferrari and Mercedes. I think they could struggle. I think there's still more to be seen in terms of McLaren. I think they're doing not too bad. The Red Bulls are pretty quick. Perez needs to step it up in terms of getting up to Verstappen's level, but Verstappen just needs to keep doing what he's doing.
Ed?
Well, I have to be honest, I'm still not, even 2 and a bit years on, I'm still not entirely sold on the sprint format. I do think it's somehow, I don't want to say devalues the main race because you don't get anywhere near as many points. And I think Interlagos is a good circuit for it, like Jess said, because you can overtake a bit easier, whereas some tracks they do it and it almost feels a bit pointless because it feels like the results are pretty much the same as qualifying, minus 1 or 2 quick cars that were out of position. But yeah, it genuinely felt competitive up and down the field. I think it bodes well for the midfield race tomorrow, but I don't really expect to see anything but Max Verstappen sprinting off into this. Ironically enough, even in the main race, sprinting off into the distance. But yeah, I look forward to it. In the meantime, I'm going to get back to working on my Lego Formula E cars. This is the Andretti I've been working on. Trying to do all the stickers for them. Annoyingly, a lot of teams have the same livery but slightly different sponsors here and there, so it's a big sticker job. But anyway, that's got nothing to do with Formula One, I guess.
It works.
I think Tsunoda really, really impressed me today. I hope to see him make a few places tomorrow. And I think Norris, too, is going to be another one make his way up the field. Mercedes, though, they're going to be really, really worried about that because this is the sort of circuit that suited them so well last year. And their tyre wear was just really bad. If it's bad in the sprint race, it's not going to change that much for the main race tomorrow. You can count on that.
Absolutely. We're going to be in for a really confusing race, especially with the temperature fluctuating as much. It affects the tyres as always. And we'll be on air at 4 p.m. GMT for all of the action. Race starts 5 p.m. GMT for all of the action as well here on YouTube and Twitch. My thanks to you, Ed. Welcome back. My thanks to you, Jess. My thanks to you, Omi. My thanks to all of you on YouTube, Twitch, and of course on USON. We'll see you tomorrow for all the action from the Sao Paulo Grand Prix at Interlagos, Brazil. Verstappen victorious here in the sprint. He has pole position tomorrow, but it'll be Charles Leclerc alongside him. Will join us tomorrow for all the action. Good night, everybody. Go have some food. Bye-bye.